All right, good to see you, CJ from Texas. What's up, Lee and Randy? Welcome back again. Loud and clear. Perfect. All right, everyone, just really quick before we get started. When you type in your message where it says two, if you could have it to all participants so we all could read everyone's chat. So if anyone has any questions or anything you could share, just please don't say anything rude or obnoxious or we'll kick you out of the meeting. All right. All right. Anyway, let's get started. First of all, welcome. My name is Fausto, and I'm the president founder of Cyber Trade University. And we are going to talk about the times of war, how to trade this market. I'm going to talk a little bit about what to look for, what to be careful of, but most importantly, how to think for yourself to be a very good trader. But before we do that, just a quick little disclaimer that I'm not going to make any guarantees or promises that this works for everybody. It always varies student for student. There is a very high risk in trading, so please be careful. Don't lose what you cannot afford. All right. So what are we going to learn in the next 45 minutes? Well, I'm going to talk about one of the biggest things that everyone makes a mistake on. It's how to follow the big money, or we can call it the smart money, whatever you want to call it. But it kind of tells us a little bit how to position ourselves, how to follow those orders. Now, the most important trading tools we're going to need, how to use them, how to monetize them, which is going to help you become a very good overall better trader. But also you could apply this towards swing trading, options trading, investing, whatever you do. And I'll give you my top 5 tips to be a very good trader in today's markets. Now, when we're all said and done, everyone, I am going to invite you all to come into my live trading room. It's over 35 years old. We have the longest running trading room because I started the first one in the industry. So everything that we talk about, we are going to practice and show it to you live in the market. So yes, we do practice what we preach. So I'm not going to sit here and brag all these great winners and and all this good stuff, but I'm going to also show you live, and I'm going to give you my book, and we're going to show you how to get this data for free. All right. Now, with that said, let's go to the live markets. Have a little fun right here, and let's see what's going on in the market. Now, I just want to introduce something really quick to you. So this is our trading floor. Okay. So everybody here is going to be invited to come into the trading floor. Basically, what you're seeing right here is right now there's about 190 traders in there live. It's kind of down right now because the middle of the day. And obviously, a lot of you are in here. These are all the traders around the world. You can see everyone from Virginia, from Florida, from UK, New York, everywhere, Kansas. Right here on the top, we got our alert service. We will give you alerts if there's anything moving. Here is our trading floor where we're sharing ideas of stocks. Right now, they're looking at a stock, Oscar. I don't know if you guys saw this stock, what it's been doing, but it's been doing absolutely fabulous today, not only over the course of the day, but in a couple of days. It's up about 13% right now. And we're actually showcasing TradeStation, which is one of the brokerage platforms that we use. And then we have the Matrix. Now, let me just move this over because you're all going to be invited invited there. But let's look what they're looking at. So they're looking at a stock called Oscar. Okay, we're going to check that out. Now, did anyone here trade the stock Oscar? Just give me a yes or no. Anyone here? Anyone heard about it? Anybody? Nobody. CJ, no. Michael, no. John, yes. A lot of no's. Now, why did you not trade it? Well, some of you probably say, I never heard of it. I don't know anything about it. Well, remember, the reason why you're here is you're here to make money, right? You're here to trade. You're here to give you what's going to give you the least amount of risk with the high amount of reward. Now, there are a lot of stocks that are moving today. A lot of Fabulous 7 stocks are moving. Some of them aren't. You can see on the right-hand side on the watch list, you can see what's there, what's not there. But the question is, which one is going to give you the least amount of risk with the high amount of reward? Well, you could trade Tesla at $325. That had a good day. You could trade NVIDIA at $145, had a good day. Or you could trade Oscar, which was a hell of a lot cheaper. Where do you go? Type it in again. SCR, which is trading at $16, which is about 10 times less money than NVIDIA, but it also percentage-wise, it's up. But the question is, why is it up? What is driving this stock higher? Well, I'm going to ask everybody this question. What makes stocks go up and down in the market? Can anybody tell me? What makes stocks go up and down? Thank you very much, John. I really appreciate your comments, and we're going to share that. Sanders says buyers and sellers. Scott says buyers and sellers. Supply and demand, buyers and sellers. Okay, so it's not a Fibonacci. It's not a moving average. It's not a MACD. It's buyers and sellers. Okay, now you have an execution system. Do you see buyers and sellers, what we're looking at right now? Yes or no? April, you do. Where do you see buyers and sellers? Kale says yes. Where? Well, you got level 2, if that's what you're saying. And the thing is, you get to see exchanges, but you're only seeing what that stock is trading there at the best bid and best offer. You're not seeing all the buyers and sellers. Okay. You see transactions on time and sales, but doesn't show you all the orders are out there. So what I want to share with you is this. Level 4. But before I get there, let me ask you this. You see the stock right now? Is the stock at this moment in time, is it going up or down? What's it doing? It's going down. And when did it start going down? At what price? That's my question. At what price did it start going down at? April says about 1850-ish, right? Scott says 1840. Okay. So I'll draw a trend line and show you that. Now, how would you have known that the stock was going to go up from 1115 at 740 and then decide to go down when it got to this price? Because that's about a 40-cent drop. How did we would know that? How would we have known that? There must have been a supply, right, April? Do you see a supply out there on that chart? I mean, I don't know. Let's go back in the past. Do we see a resistance levels here? I mean, you had some here, but that was what? What price? That was at 1820, but, we got almost up to here. Do you see sellers? I don't see sellers. Okay. Are you ready for this? This is level 4. And if I zoom out over here, and let me just go back a little bit further in data. Okay. See this little red line right there? This right here, and I follow along. This is what's called COB, current order book. What that means is that's what the orders are as we speak right now. Here's 930. And here's all these orders. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now, you could see here that the stock went up, hit this order right here. Green bull means all the transactions of that seller got executed. Then it went to this big seller. All those green transactions got executed, means that seller got done. And then it went to the next biggest seller. But there's no green transactions. There's red transactions. You know what red means? That means people are selling. Okay. Do you see this big order right here? You see that right there, what I'm pointing at? That's a really, really, really big red sign. You know what that means? That, fellow traders, if I zoom out, that was a buyer. Okay. And how I know that? Because it came in 5 minutes later. You know how much that buyer was? 100,000 shares. What happened when that buyer showed up? Stock went all the way up, and it kept going, and it kept going, and it kept going, and it kept going. And it kept executing the sellers until it didn't execute any more sellers anymore. And now it hits the price of 1850. Now, what was the number you all just mentioned? 1850, right? Look at the price of the stock is right now. Just zoom in here a little bit better for you. Give you better perspective. Hold on. There we go. Hope that works. All right. See, that went up, and now right now we're trading at 1780. So think about it. If you didn't know that order was out there and didn't have a game plan, how's that working out for you right now? Are you making money or are you losing money? And that's a question. That's right. You're losing money, right? So think about this for a second. How much smarter and better trading decisions would you have made if you were able to see what we call the right of the chart? And the right of the chart are the orders, okay? Where you're not seeing it over here on the indicators. Now, this works for everything. It works on NVIDIA, which you could see there's about a 3 million share seller here at 150. It works on Tesla, okay? Which you could see right now, you got, and go back so you show you a little bit more, where you can see there's a big seller out here at 133, okay? You could see the orders out there on a heat map. And that is why the stocks go up and go down in the market. It's because of supply and demand. Now, let me introduce myself again, once again, everyone. I don't know if you guys ever seen me before, but where does Fausto know this stuff? Who is Fausto Pugliese, and why are you listening to him? Well, let me tell you a little bit about myself so you know exactly why I'm here and why you need to listen what I'm going to have to teach you next. I've been doing this. I've been on Wall Street veteran for 25 plus years. Okay. I've teach NFL players. I've done charity work where I've been in prisons. I've done helping people to learn how to trade the markets. I teach grandmas and grandpas, business owners, engineers. You said it. I've trained hundreds of thousands of traders around the world, not because of because I hate seeing people lose money in trading. I've also been featured in some of the biggest stations. I've done a lot of work for NASDAQ. And NASDAQ, the purpose of it is they want you to understand how to trade their markets, because if you knew how to trade and knew how to and understand why they go up and down, if you just knew how to trade with their platform, which some of you don't, you could have that better of a chance to succeed in today's markets. Now, what's been happening lately, there are catastrophes that happen all the time. You have COVID, financial crisis, the internet bubble, 9/11. Well, now you got a war that's going on. And there are always going to be opportunities out there. And reason why I'm here is because I want to show you the opportunities that you can make, which you saw, with Trump when he put the tariffs on or whatever it may be. You're having another situation now with the war in the Middle East. But in that case, how do you actually monetize it? Because some people think with a war, maybe the market will crash, whatever it may be. And it's obviously not. The market actually has gone up. But why is that? Is there another bear market coming? Is there a good volatility it's going to happen? Should I get in? Should I get out? Should I do my swing trades? Whatever it is. It all starts by following the big block orders. You have to understand something. It's not about just what stocks are going to move. There's so many things that are moving. We had a stock yesterday. APPS was up 59% in one day. You know what I mean? There are RBNE up 12% in one day. I mean, you don't have to kill it in the market. You don't have to worry about the war, what's going to affect you. What you have to worry about right now is what's moving today. And maybe that's the next thing that's moving due to the war. Even stock like CRO up 140%. By the way, in one day. So you're like saying, well, I don't know. I never seen these stocks before. How do I find them? And is this like real? Yeah, it's real. But it all starts off, what stocks are you trading? And why are you not in these trades? Like we just showed you the stock like Oscar and not knowing how to get out of it because you're not following the big money. Okay. It's all about following the smart money. Now, it sounds a lot more difficult than what it is, but it's really not. Let me explain something to you a little bit about myself. I am going to be 53 years old. I was a floor trader at the age of 22. I started like a lot of other people out there. I thought I didn't need to get a job. I could do it myself. What do I need to go? Why do I need to learn from somebody? Let me try and see how it works out. And if I like it, then I'll go out there and learn. But you know what? Didn't work out too well. Do you know that trading is a 90% failure rate? Why would any of you here even consider being in this room, listening to me right now, knowing that you have the probability chance of being a 90% failure rate? And I know why, because you probably see people making money and be like, well, I know I don't want to be at 90%. And that's why you are here, because the other 90% of people are not here. Okay. So let's look at this. Before I became successful in trading, I was a big failure. Fortunately for me, I live here in New York. I'm surrounded by it's the financial capital of the world. I was learned by some of the biggest traders in the industry. And what I've shown you just a few moments ago, what I was taught when I stepped in and said, I raised a white flag and I said, that's it. There's got to be an easier way. When somebody showed me that, I fell off my chair. Now, for some of you here, probably seeing that for the very first time, do you know how old that data is, that technology is? It's over 50 to 60 years old. Do you know how old AI is? Do any idea? AI is now all of a sudden become the biggest thing since sliced bread. It's been around for 60 years. Just now, you're just figuring out about it. Okay? Well, you need to stop following the money. Okay? I'm sorry, chasing the money, and you have to start following the big money. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to give you my blueprint of what you need to do, because there's going to be a catastrophe. And if you're worried about the war, it's going to be something else. And Vanguard and BlackRock and Goldman Sachs are not stupid. They don't take political sides, and they don't take any prisoners. Okay? They are in the business just like you to make money. And when there's a winner, there's a loser. And you don't want to be that loser. So these are the tips I'm going to show you how to follow: the hedge funds, the institutions, the market makers, the AIs, all those things, the high frequency trades, everything that covers with it. So let's start off where most people make their biggest mistake. They're looking backwards. And you don't want to start looking at the rearview mirror. You have to start looking forward. Forward is following what the Wall Street traders like we do is seeing, where is Goldman Sachs selling? Where is BlackRock buying? Where are they in this position? That's the future of trading. You have to look forward, not back. Stop drawing those trend lines. Stop worrying about listening to the next super indicator that's out there. Don't worry about it. You have to follow what's going on now. So look at this screen right here. How could anybody even read this? All I know, if someone ever taught it to you, it makes perfect sense, because you're like, oh yeah, it's definitely right. Oh yeah. The problem with indicators is it's historic and it's laggers. You do not want to be a lagger. You want to be a leader. The leader is the future. And the future is, okay, where is that 50,000 share sell order? Where is that 3 million share buyer? That's what we have to look at. So what makes stocks move in the first place? Supply and demand, which you all just mentioned earlier. How do we find that supply and demand? We need to follow those orders. So what I want to do right now is I want to show you my number one main tool that all of you are going to give you a 50% success rate in trading. Okay. So I'm going to convert you from a 90% failure rate to a 50% failure rate. What you ask is to get to past the other 50%. We're going to get that to the end. But right now, let's cover that. There are 3 ways of seeing orders: level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 1, just to kind of explain to you really quick what it is basically you open up a browser, you open up your phone, you want to quote on a stock. Okay. That's the level 1. Level 1 is the highest buyer and the highest seller. So when you see the bid, that's the best price somebody wants to buy it. When you see the ask, that's the highest price someone's going to sell it. That's the level 1 quotes. Then there was something that came out was called level 2. Level 2 is just showing you what the stock is trading at that exchange, because, level 1 is showing you like the Philadelphia exchange, but it's not. But then now you're seeing where NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, other ECNs are out there. So you're seeing other orders out there. The problem with that is you're just seeing the best buyer and the best seller at that price. It's not seeing all the buyers and all the sellers out there. So what do you need to trade? something called NASDAQ Total View. Now, I'm going to show you where to get this. So make sure you get your pen and paper handy because I'm going to show you how to find out what you're. Now, listen, I need everybody to pay attention. And I'm going to ask everyone a question right now. Raise your hand or just give me a yes that you hear me loud and clear. I just want to do an audio check really quick because I want to make sure, because what you're about to see right now is going to be very, very disturbing. You are going to realize why 90% of the people fail in trading. And I'm not making this shit up, okay? Calvin, I didn't hear from you. Denise, I didn't hear from you. Michael, April, give me a quick yes. I want to make sure you guys are paying attention. You're not in La La Land watching some your soap opera or doing a trade, okay? Everybody here okay? All right, good. You locked in? Good. All right. Let me turn on my AC because I'm starting to sweat in here because I'm getting all excited. All right. This is called NASDAQ Total View. Okay. The technology has been around for 50 years. What you're seeing right here is something that I had to pay over $1,000 a month for 30 years ago. You're looking at the stock HIMS. Okay. HIMS, obviously, where people buy, you see those commercials on TV where HIMS, where you could buy like weight loss drugs, hair products for men, all that crap. Okay. It's irrelevant, but what you're seeing here is you're seeing every buyer that wants to buy HIMS and every seller that wants to sell HIMS. You're seeing who wants to buy for the most amount of money, and you're seeing who wants to buy for the least amount of money. You are seeing every single order around the entire world of every single person out there that wants to trade the stock HIMS or Apple or Intel or any stock you could think of. You have to remember, NASDAQ controls 50% of the market. There are other exchanges out there, the New York Stock Exchange, EDX, Philadelphia, but NASDAQ is the most powerful, biggest exchange in the world, okay? So, and by the way, if they're big, if there are a lot of orders here, they're everywhere else. But let's just focus on this one only, okay? So think about this for a second. Does any of you here own a house? Anybody here own a house? Just give me a yes or no. Okay, April, you do? Okay. Remember the day you bought that house and you had to put a bid in a stock, a bid in to buy it, and the broker's saying, yeah, you want to buy it, put a bid. And you're like, and like all of a sudden you fall off your chair because you want to buy it, but you don't know where to put a bid in. You don't want to underbid it. You don't want to pay. You don't want to overbid it. You don't want to pay too much because you can buy it cheaper. You want to buy it cheaper, but you don't want to put your price too cheap because maybe someone's going to outbid you. You know what I'm talking about? Same thing with a stock. Well, imagine you were able to buy a house, and you could see where everybody wants to buy it, where everybody wants, and where the seller wants to get out. How much more of an advantage and a better price would you be to buy the house? Because how about this? How about you put a bid in the house and all the guy goes, okay, so you can have it. I'm like, oh shit, he said yes? That's great, but like, did I actually pay too much for it? He was so quickly to buy it, to sell it to me. I mean, I don't know, maybe you could have bought it 5-10% cheaper. Maybe you could save yourself 50, 100 grand. Okay. But you wouldn't know that unless you had something called the book. Well, in the NASDAQ, obviously it doesn't exist. The only person that knows that is the broker, and the broker's not going to tell you that. Well, guess what? It's the same thing with the stock market. You wouldn't know that back in the old days because we had what was called market makers. Well, they don't really exist anymore. Okay. So the exchanges gave you the book, and they says, you know what? We're going to take that book away from the brokerage firm, and we're going to give it to you, Joe, you, Scott, you, Lynn, you, CJ, you, Bill, and everyone else. So you don't need them anymore. So now you're going to see every order out there. So you know where you can see where the big buyers are, where the big sellers are. So you don't have to pay more for something that you don't have to. Now, how cool is that? Well, let me show you how we're going to utilize this data. Here's an example of where you can get a good deal on a stock. Let's look at NVIDIA, for example. On this day, NVIDIA went from $152 and went all the way down to 41. I know everyone loves NVIDIA. Everyone loves it. Everyone's great. Okay. But why go out there and pay 152 when you could pay 141. But some of you be like, but I would like to pay 141, but how do you know it's going to go to 141? Well, the way I know it's going to go 141 because that's where the biggest buyer was. There was a 1.3 million share buyer, and there were 319 orders out there at $141. Listen, there are buyers at every single price, but that's where the biggest buyer was. So why go pay 152 when everyone else wants to buy a 141? Because like it or not, it's going to go there with you or without you. And here's an example of Tesla. You ever own a stock and like, damn it, I should have sold it sooner. Now I'm holding the stock and I'm losing money. Okay, well, if you look at Tesla, it went from 350, went all the way to 355. Like, yeah, making money, baby. Go, go, go. And all of a sudden, like, oh shit, now things dropping. I'm like, oh damn, what just happened? Now you have a winner. Now you have a little winner. And now you have a huge loser. And you're like, oh shit, do I hold it here? And we all have where that story ended. Well, did you see the big order out there on the sell side? Did you look at the book and know that you're coming up against, I don't know, it's not a million share seller, it's 126, but you know what? When everyone else is showing, 400, 300, yeah, 6-digit number is a big difference than a 3-digit number. You know what I'm saying? So do you want to own a stock with a big seller out there? I don't think so. Do you want to sell a stock with a big buyer out there? I don't think so. Well, that just proves to you that's why you're trading blind. Now, my question to everyone here is this. Did I lose anybody yet? Just give me a yes or no. Is everyone following along? April, you following along? Good. Michael, Scott, Bevan, great. CJ says, I'm all here. All right. Thank you. Following Joe? Good, good. All right. So let's see. Listen. Iceberg order, we call these iceberg orders. An iceberg order is a big block order. That's what we call it. Okay. Now, because there are orders every price, but you're looking for the cement ceiling. You're not looking for the empty spaces. So here we have a stock. Let's go back to Tesla again. So there was a big war that went on. It was a great love marriage, and all of a sudden became one of the most ugly divorces all over the news. Okay. So Tesla obviously took a big hit. Now, it went from 284 and it's at 276. Now, why did it go 276? It's not your problem to figure it out. You know what your problem is? To make money. And actually, it's even a more important problem to have is when to take a loss. But let's look at this example. Stock's going down. When is this stock going to bounce? And don't tell me zero. Okay. When is this stock going to eventually stop going lower? What do we need for the stock to stop going down? And that's a question. April, you're wrong. You don't need support. I don't know what support means. There could be support at any price. You need buyers. That's right, Michael. That we need buyers. Okay. So do you see any buyers on a chart? Because everyone keeps talking about the chart, how great it is. Do you see buyers on a chart? No. You might see some past support levels, but supports in the past and not indicative of the future. Okay. So we got to look at, where the orders are. All right. So now when we look over here and we work our way down after taking such a big hit, the biggest buyer is sitting here right around 275. There are 500 orders out there. Okay. For 138,000 shares. Now, is that a lot? Well, when you look at all the other orders out there, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 800, 6,000, 138,000 is about almost 100 times more the average than any other order out there at any price. So, yeah, I would think that's a big buyer. Or in other case, like you just said before, that would technically be a support level. What do you think happens next? Stock went there, hit the support level at 275, and then you could figure it out what happened after that. Why did it stop at 275? Why didn't it go to 270? Why didn't it stop at 280? Why 275? Well, because that's where the biggest buyer was. Now, did you need Fausto to tell you that? Did you need an indicator to tell you that? Did you need a Fibonacci to tell you that? Or did you need something called level 3 to tell you that? because there's nothing else out there that's going to tell you that. Let's look at another example. Let's talk about resistance. What's gonna make a resistance level, everybody? Question. What's going to make a resistance? Sellers. Everyone write an S. All right. So ASTS going up. Great stock. Been doing great. Competitor of Elon Musk. Is that why it's going up? Is it earnings? Does it even matter? Well, because traders keep buying it, keep going higher, 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 right? What's driving the stock is the buyers. But there's a thing that comes down to it, that nothing goes up forever. And what I mean by that is there's always going to be someone looking to take a profit. So you got to have what's called a game plan. And the game plan is, when I look at the sell orders, I see that there's a 100,000 share seller at 38.55. So in theory, what do you think is going to happen to the price when it gets there? Because it's going to get there, like it or not. And you could see from here, the chart kind of tells the story after that. It's going to go down. And if you didn't have that game plan and you didn't know where that seller was, guess what? Now you convert a winner to a loser. Now, let's just be honest with ourselves. How many times did it ever happen to you? How many times did it ever happen? Don't you wish sometimes you got out of a stock and said, damn it, I just held just a little too long? Well, if you just saw those orders, you probably would have figured that out. Let's look at another familiar name, Archer, another stock. Okay, Trump signs executive order about aircrafts, air taxis. You hear about the drones, and you hear the military. These drones are attacking people and stuff like that. So there are a lot of companies out there that are obviously benefiting them, or Archer is obviously one of them. So here you are, stocks running on news, it's doing great. You're like, oh, maybe this is a new Palantir. Maybe I remember Palantir was $20, now it's $140. Shit, I missed it. Maybe I can get the next one. Listen. You could, but you got to go through some hurdles. And the hurdles is there's always someone looking to take a profit. Why? That's not important to you. Okay. Maybe the guy wants to put an extension in his house. I don't know. Okay. But you, as a smart trader, you got to have a game plan. And when we look over here on the resistance levels, we can see on Archer, there's almost a 980,000 share seller sitting there at 12.50. Now, is that a lot? I don't know. 1,000 share sellers, 3,000 shares. It's a lot of shares. 3,000. Maybe some of you don't like to dish out 30, 40,000 an idea. But 1 million shares sitting there, $12 million, 26 orders that make up for it. That's a lot. You know what? As much as you love the company, as much as you think it could be the next Palantir, I'll just say, you know what? I'll pass on. Let somebody else get through it. Because I don't have a problem paying more money for stock. Okay? Because if I was always thinking that it's going to keep going, I wouldn't be standing here today. You as a trader, you need to see the future. And the future is not that stupid crystal ball you hear people say, not that 8 ball you got to shake. It's by having the right data. It's been around for over 50 years. And that is level 3. And that's why you have to follow the big iceberg orders. All right? Now, can this work on swing trading? Absolutely. Absolutely. Investing? Absolutely. Cryptocurrency? Absolutely. Futures trading? Options trading? Absolutely. And this, I'm going to prove it to you. What I want to do is I want to go to the real markets right now. I want to show you how this stuff works. So, does anybody here have a stock that you want me to check out? Any stock. Give me that stock. And we'll look it up. Because I'm going to show you level 4. All right. All right. We'll look at Tesla again. Hold on. Oracle, AMD. Let me see. Let me see what their stocks are doing. UPST. It's a little light. Volume's a little light. APVO. This one's pretty cool. Okay, let me look at this one. This one's not bad because APVO, you could see 9:30 this morning had a great run from like $6, went all the way up to $12.50. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm making a killing. You go to lunch, you come back and like, holy shit, I just lost all my money. Like, here you are. Think about it. You bought 1,000 shares of the stock, right? You paid, let's just use simple math, $6. If you sold it at 6 and you sold it at 12, you made $6,000. You know how much money that is over the course of the year? That's over like a $2-3 million business. Okay. Why did it stop? That's the $64,000 question, right? Why did it stop at 1250? Let's go see. Let's bring up some orders out here. Let's see. APVO. Just loading up the data here. Hold on. This one's kind of hard to see, but you could see right here when it was going up, not really the cleanest stock to read, but there were some sellers over here that gone now because this is the past, but you really can't see it. Now you can see there's a lot of sellers pushing it down right here, but that's not really a good one. One of you brought up, John says, please look at UPST. Let me see that one. UPST. All right, I'll check out that one for you. UPST. UPST. The only reason I'm not too crazy about it is that the volume is not the greatest. It's only 5 million shares, but I'll check it out for you. Okay. So the stock right now, from what I could see here, there's a 28,000 share seller at $60. There's a 27,000 share buyer at $550. And let me just go back. I'm only seeing like the past hour, and I'll go back 3 hours. And no real big sellers up until 70, but you could see here, there was a seller here that got filled. You see the green ball? Around 588, but now it's going up. So the stock actually looks pretty strong. So it looks like it's going to probably go to 60 because there's really no one else selling it. See the ball just turned green? That means that all those sellers on the offer just got executed. And you can see how the stock just popped. Okay. Do you see that, John? All right. Let's do one more because we're almost out of time here. All right. I want to bring up a very well-known brand name stock. Let's look at NVIDIA. Okay. So NVIDIA, if we go here and we look at it, you could see that NVIDIA had a big seller at 145. Now, is anyone here subscribed to my YouTube channel or Instagram or TikTok? Anybody here? April, you are? Okay. Scott, you are? Okay. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel because I did a really good video on this one. And maybe Rich, we could probably give him the link. Just please go out there, like it. Whenever we post a video, please help us out. Like it, share it, and leave a comment. You're definitely worth watching it because, and you got to watch the end. And I like to do a lot of shorts because some people lose their attention span after like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So I do a lot of minute videos, but I want you to see this video really quick. Okay. Hold on. Let me bring it up. If you keep thinking about buying NVIDIA and want to know why it's not going up, let me show you why. Watch the video here. It's been having a tough time the last couple of days breaking this number. What is that number? 145. And you can see it over here the course of the year. But this is the reason why. Look at this big iceberg order and the red line. Big million share sellers, 145 and 150. And that is why NVIDIA is having a tough time breaking that big major resistance at 145. Listen, if you're not looking at the right of the chart, you're looking at the wrong chart. You have to follow the money. But I got good news. It's been hovering there for a while and it could break it. And you just have to come back and find out how. If you guys watch that, basically, when I posted that video about 3 days ago, guess what? It broke that big seller of over 3 million shares. Now it looks like the next biggest resistance is about 150 because there's about the next 3 million. Now there's some sellers at 145, 140, 147, 140, 148, but not like the big ones that we saw. So not only could you do it on the long-term chart, you could do it on the daily chart, but you could do it on the long-term chart. One person was asking about Tesla. So yes, Tesla, you could see here on the long-term chart, it's been testing, it's got this big seller at 130, and then you got 135 and 150. So you could have a game plan just by knowing where program trading is. You know, do you guys anyone here trade options? Do you know how options go up and go down? By orders. Okay. So if you want to know why these strike prices are there, it's because what you're seeing right here. So you're basically one step ahead of everyone else. That's how the game plan is being worked. All right. Now, I didn't even scratch the surface. I didn't talk about the ETFs that you could trade with them. I didn't talk about high yield stocks you could trade with them. I didn't talk about shakes. I didn't talk about, consolidation. I didn't talk about anything. My goal today was just to teach you supply and demand. Now, think about it. What I've done right now is I just made you a 50% better trader than you were when you first came here. Now, did I lose anybody again? Did I lose anyone? No, good. Everybody's paying attention. So who here would like to get this data and start playing with and practicing with it? And not dealing with these big indicators, but just follow orders. Because I don't know about you, but it kind of makes sense, right? Why sit there and try to figure out all these crosses and these lines? And it's just like, why don't we just follow the money? And you know what? I would never known that unless I took a job as a trader on the floor. And you have to ask yourself the same question. Who really trained you? Okay. Oh, he was a gym teacher. And then from a gym teacher, he quit his job and he figured this indicator out. It's working amazing for him. I'm not looking to insult anybody, but let's be honest. Where did these people really work? Where did they really, really learn? You know how many people just got lucky? Okay. Oh, the guy killed it in crypto. He owns Bitcoin at 1,500. He got lucky. You don't want to be in a lucky business. You know how you make your own, you become lucky? You make your own luck. You do not want to be lucky in trading because you can't go on life being lucky, okay, your whole life. There's going to come to a point where you're going to have some skill. And that's the skill comes in is when you have a catastrophe and you got to know how to deal with it. And that's what it is about following these orders. And it's not doing that. It's doing this. So that's why 90% of traders fail. Now, if you want to learn more and learn from someone who's been with over 30 years, I want to invite all of you guys to come to my trading room and you could see how we apply this into the real market hours. But the thing is this, you got to be serious. Trading is a great job. It really is. You are your own boss. You can come and go whenever you please, but you got to know, you got to surround yourself with people that do it all day and are very good at it. So listen, I got two families in life. I have my personal family, been married for over 28 years. I had 3 wonderful sons. And then I got my second family, which is what I'm looking to make some of you to become, because these are the people I'm with all day long. And trading, if you don't trust the people you trade with, then you obviously, like a job, you shouldn't be working there in the first place. But you all know that you can't be, if you own a restaurant, the chef, the maitre d', the busboy, the cashier, the accountant, the lawyer, the schmooze guy. You can't be all that. You need a good team. That's how you make a successful business. So you need to surround yourself. And that's why we've been doing it for over 35 years. And not only that, this is why Cybertrade University has been endorsed and also has been sponsored by more brokerage firms and exchanges than any school in the industry. And by the way, if any of you here plan on doing training with someone, I think you should always look at not how many times they were on TV, but who really endorses them. Because it's their compliance department that when they do background checks on us, they don't like us talking to their people like you if they knew we were doing, if we didn't have a good reputation in it. And that's why Cybertrade University is probably the only school you'll find that has a 5-star rating on Google. In 35 years, I don't think anyone has a 5-star rating in the trading industry. And not only that, if you want to learn more, this is what we need to do. Follow me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, share us, like us, everything else. But if you want to really get your feet wet, this is what you need to do. Get your phone, get the link, click on that link right now. And if you want to learn how to use this, all I'm going to charge you is $9 to get in my trading room. Now, for some people, they look at that as like, wait a minute, what happened to the free event? Listen, let me explain something to you. You do not want to be in a room with free people, okay? You don't want to go to a concert. Sounds great. Billy Joel's doing a free concert for free and in Central Park. Yeah, let me know how that works for you. Okay. You want to hang out with a bunch of, and no disrespect to them, but you want to hang out with a bunch of bums. You want to hang out with a bunch of, people that are illegals that are here. You want to hang out with people just like drinking, smoking pot. Okay, great. You do that. I'd rather pay the $9 and go to a concert where I can get a seat and I can sit down and be comfortable. Okay. There are people out there, you could do that. And they're like, that's fine. But you want to be successful in this business? I'm looking for people I want you to understand that there's no free lunches in trading. Okay. You want to trade, there's things you're going to have to pay for. And if you're willing to make a small investment of $9, I will change your life and get you past that other 50%. So I just made you 50% better of a trader. The next $9 is going to make you that much 50% better. And it all starts here. And this is what you're going to get for $9. We do live commentary all day long. You're going to get all our instructors that have been trading underneath me and all the hundreds of traders are in the room. You're going to have access to the trading floor. You're going to see the stocks we get in and out of it. You're also going to see watch lists. We're going to tell you what's moving. We're going to show you how to find them. The goal is to teach you how to think for yourself. And we do live events and workshops all day long. We do traders talk. We have podcasts. I mean, we got some of the best in the industry that do training. And, we want you to basically see it. We're going to give you alerts, everything that people spend money on, all for $9, all for a lousy, stinking $9. And why am I doing it for $9? Because I don't need the $9. You could have the $9 at the end of the week. I'm just looking for people that are serious. All right. So take your phone, scan that QR code. And not only that, what I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you my book for free. And I'm going to tell you where to get NASDAQ level 3 for free. Okay. So all these things are done. And if you're not happy, I'll give you money back at the end of the week. Listen, I don't need your $9. I am looking for traders that want to learn how to make 6 figures. If you're sick and tired, sitting at home, trying to watch every YouTube video, going to every webinar and every expo and want to know why we've been around for 35 years, here's your chance to figure it out. And I'm going to throw one last bonus. If you register right now, I will personally talk to you on the phone. And people are freaked out about it. It's like, wait a minute. Fausto Pugliese, the owner's going to talk to me? Yes, Dennis, I'll talk to you. Don, I'll talk to you. Barry, I'll talk to you. April, I'm going to talk to you. Because we have to make a decision together if this is for you or not. Because, listen, trading's not for everyone. Mentally, psychologically, and preparation. If you feel that you can't do it, then maybe you should give your money to someone else to trade it for you. But trying to go out there and try to figure out on your own is a waste of your time. So let us kind of teach you the art of trading and how Wall Street trades, and we'll go from there. All right. All for $9. All right. So you got the QR code. You got that. I'm going to answer some questions right here. Fausto, thank you. I need to drop for a client meeting. Thanks again. Kale, thanks for coming. Hope you learned a lot, Kale. And once again, make sure, when you talk to that client, make sure you register for it. Because let me tell you, we've trained mutual funds, hedge funds. Listen, it's a lot different of a market. You want to learn how the market trades. You got to learn how to read the right of the chart. A couple of people just registering right now. I want to do a couple of shout outs really quick. Chris T, I just got your registration. Welcome aboard. Appreciate the vote of confidence. Elizabeth from Palm Coast, Florida, got your registration. Welcome aboard. David M from Colorado, got your registration. Welcome aboard. Scott Rogers, yeah, you can see the names right here. See them over here registering? All right. Got your registration. Welcome aboard. Now, let me tell you something, fellow traders. When you register, very important, you are going to, I'm going to ask you 5 questions. Please let us know a little bit about you. Listen, you're making money, you're losing money. What kind of trading you're doing? The more you tell us about you, the better we can help you. Okay. And secondly, when you get to the next page, you're going to book an appointment. Everyone here is going to talk to one of my staff. We're going to walk you through. We don't want you to go to the gym and not know what to do. You'll end up hurting yourself, right? So you're all going to be able to talk to my staff. You're going to make an appointment at a time. Do it sooner than later. Okay. Listen, you got a war that's going on right now. You got some great opportunities. Some of you missed the beautiful crash of the Liberation Day of President Trump that came up with, but some of them got crushed in it. This is where you're going to learn why. Linda and Randy, thank you very much. He makes sure that this is for you, nothing to lose. And by the way, you get to meet people like Linda and Randy and Lita and Grant Brockway and Andrea, all the hundreds of people that were you, and they are here to promote, to help recruit you because they know that if you're as good as you think you could be, you're going to help us all make money in the market. All right. Question. Thanks, Fausto. I wish I knew you earlier. No, listen, don't say that. Don't say that. You wish you knew me earlier. It's never too late. It's never too late to learn. Listen, I'm going to make a guarantee to all of you. The stock market's not going out of business. When you and I die, I'll still be here. What is too late is that if you don't move forward and start here. All right. A couple other people are registering. Michael got your registration from New York. Welcome aboard. Who is this? Louis. Sorry about that, Louis. From Chicago, got your registration. Welcome aboard. Michael B, I just got your registration from Pennsylvania. Welcome aboard. Okay. Listen, very important. You want to know how to follow money? This is how you do it. You need level 3 and you need level 4. Okay. You want to know, some of you watch me on NASDAQ. You see me do presentations. The reason why NASDAQ has me on, listen, NASDAQ doesn't need me. They don't need me. They're NASDAQ, for crying out loud. But they have me on because they know what we teach will help you guys, because they don't teach to the public. We do. And if you do well, they do well. It's a trickle-down economics when it comes to it. All right. Any other questions? Somebody was just asking me, how much money do I need to trade? That's a great question. And it's a stupid question because it's only $9. Don't worry about, do I need 10,000? Like one person says, do I need a brokerage current account running? No, you don't. Don't worry about buying the car. Let me teach you how to drive first, because you might not know, that car might not be the person for you. It all depends what kind of trader you are. Different traders need different things. Worry about this first, then we'll worry about everything else later. Okay. That's why we're here. That's the most important thing. With the holidays closing tomorrow, could I extend it? Absolutely. Absolutely. I know the market's closed tomorrow, so don't worry about it. We will extend it an extra day, so you have the whole extra week to do it. But let me just tell you something. You only need a day in the room. When you see, let me tell you, we start trading at 7:30 in the morning, an hour and a half before the market opens up. When you see what happens in pre-market, you're going to realize, like, holy shit, now I know why people get caught up on the hype and end up giving it all back. You haven't seen nothing yet. I just showed you supply and demand. Wait till you see all the other stuff. A couple of other quick shout outs I want to do really quick. I see a few more registering in here. Mohammed, I got your registration. Welcome aboard. Who is this right here? Stephen B, got your registration. Cal Perk from Los Angeles, got your registration. Amid from London, got your registration. Welcome aboard. Linda Randy, I mean, they're big fans of us. You get to meet them, but she's right. Linda Randy's saying it. $9 will change your life. It's basically a cup of coffee, an expensive cup of coffee. And actually, coffee is getting expensive lately. But I can't say it's lunch, because lunch ain't cheap. Lunch now here in New York costs like $20. Okay. But imagine what you're going to learn for $9. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? There are over 100 people in here. And when I come in here, I assume all 100 of you are going to register. What do you have to lose? You might not like what you hear, but you're going to realize that you've been trading blind ever since. Stop reading the right. And I had one person said, how is this going to help my trading? Listen, if you're not making money and you were trained by somebody and you've been doing this for 2-3 months and it's still not working out, you might want to change. You might want to change. All right, traders, listen, I got to go. Last chance to get registered. These are all the beautiful, wonderful things you're going to get. Workshops, Traders Talk Library, First 20 people get a coaching class with me, and you're going to get live access. And the question someone asked me, what happens after a week? Zero. You are not locking yourself into some payment plan or some, residual thing. No, we don't do that. We don't need your business. We respect your business. We want your business. We don't need your business. I'm just looking for traders that we could teach, that we could trade together, that are looking to do this part-time, and that's about it. Because we teach people around the world. That's it. Scott, you're more than welcome. Great class. Appreciate it, Scott. Thanks, everybody, for listening. I got to go and get back to the trading room. And like I said, if you didn't move forward with Cyber Trading University, let me leave you off with this one thing. If you're not going to learn, you're not going to earn. Okay? If you don't like the way we act or the way we look, I get it. Maybe it's not your style, but I'm warning you right now. You better learn from more than one person. Don't try to go out there and do this on yourself. Don't waste your time trying to learn on yourself, because you could ask anyone. You could go to AI. You could do a search on Google. It would tell you it's a 90% failure rate. You're better off giving your money to someone else to trade. Don't kill yourself. It's not going to break the bank. $9 is not going to kill you. Okay. But it will change your life, and it will change your way you look at the market. So learn from true market makers and not amateurs. Good luck, everybody. Happy trading. I'll see you all in the trading room.